This is an unusual party, I told the man. I haven't seen my host yet. Gatsby sent me an invitation this morning. I ought to thank him. The man stared at me in surprise. I'm Gatsby, he said. I thought you knew, old sport. I'm not a very good host, am I? Gatsby smiled. He had a pleasant smile. His smile made me feel important. I looked at Gatsby with interest. He was a top-looking young man, but he had beautiful clothes and beautiful manners. At the moment, the butler hurried up to the table. Gatsby stood up and bowed to each of us. Chicago on the phone. You must excuse me, he said politely. Please ask for anything you want, old sport. I will see you again later. When Gatsby got into the house, I said, Who is he, Jordan? Does anyone know? He's a man called Gatsby. That's what I know. But where is he from? What does he do? Now you get interested in him, Jordan smiled. Everyone does. He told me once he was educated at Oxford, England, but I don't believe it. Why not? I don't know. But who cares? He's got good manners, and he gives big parties. I like big parties. There was a crash on the drums, and the band leader spoke. A new jazz tune for Mr. Gatsby, he cried. The band began to play. I looked up and saw Gatsby standing alone on the white steps in front of his house. His face was tanned and his hair was cut short. Gatsby stood there, very straight, his hands in his pockets. I wondered why people seemed a little afraid of him. When the jazz tune ended, every girl kissed the nearest man and fell into his arms, half drunk. But there was no girl in Gatsby's arms. He stood there, on the steps, alone. The butler came back to our table. Miss Baker, he said, Mr. Gatsby would like to speak to you. To me? Jordan got up slowly and walked into the house. It was almost 2 o'clock now. Someone was singing. I went to the house to listen. A tall woman was standing by the piano, very drunk. As she sang, she cried. Suddenly, she dropped her glass and fell back into a chair, fast asleep. It was time to go home. As I walked toward the door, Jordan Baker and Gatsby came out of the library together. I've heard the most surprising thing, Jordan told me quietly, but I can't tell you about that. It's the secret. She yawned. I must go. My friends are waiting. Do phone me. A few guests were standing near Gatsby. I went up to him to say goodbye. Don't forget, we're going out in the boat or spot, he said, at 9 o'clock. Then the butler said, Philadelphia wants you on the phone, Mr. Gatsby, sir. All right, wait a minute. Gatsby smiled at me. Good night, old sport. Good night. I walked down the steps. The lights of a dozen cars shone on the gardens. Drunken voices were saying good night. I walked across the lawn in the moonlight. The cars drove away. The gardens were quiet and empty. All along, Gatsby stood on the white steps, waving goodbye.